Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Well, imagine this. We're here at BlogWorld New Media EXPO and broadcasting live, or at least I am, and along comes another content producer.
Just a little bit, yeah.
TechInterruption.com.
TechInterruption.com is our show.
And what would we find in this particular online program thing?
You would find two people who sit and sort of argue about the tech issues of the day and what's going to and try to predict the future, basically, and talk about what we think is going to happen. And we're trying to start conversations about about new technologies. We talk a lot about we've had the founders of Foursquare on. We've had the Local Mind guys. We've had
so you're big into location
Izzy
stuff.
Well, I'm big into location right now, yeah, because I think that it's a great new piece of context that we have, and I don't think people are taking full advantage of it yet. But there's a lot more that we can do. I mean, people are using it, right? People are using Foursquare and Gowalla, and brands are getting involved, and it's like I'm trying to get more people to do that. That's why we're also writing a book on location-based marketing. So,
anybody still read books?
I don't know. I'm glad this thing's going to go to the Kindle because to the Kindle and the iPad. Otherwise, we would, who would read it?
Well, it's funny because the show, and people who aren't here wouldn't know this, but this particular show, the BlogWorld and New Media EXPO, is happening concurrently in the same building as a book expo. Right. And each one of us are looking at each other going...
I was just talking to my publisher about, the future of books and saying, what we really would like is when people are reading the book to be able to communicate with other people who are reading it at the same time and be able to put notes and things of that nature. Treat it more like a community experience. So if you're on the iPad, you're reading, you're reading the book and you're also reading at the same time, but I don't know that. It'd be great to know that you're reading it. It'd be great to be able to have conversations about it, call, BS on certain stuff, or say that we really like these concepts, or that's the kind of experience that I'm looking for, going forward. And I met a few people who are trying to take it to that level, but I don't know if the book publishers are necessarily thinking that way yet.
I know that there is a group that is trying to take textbooks to the next level, at least on the iPad, and trying to make it more of a communal experience. But in terms of traditional books, I'm surprised Amazon hasn't started to go that route, if only to seem like they really leapt ahead of what Apple's trying to do.
Yeah, and Gary Vaynerchuk was talking yesterday about how basically any of us right now, we can go self-publish if we want to. We put a book together, we put it in a PDF, put it on your website, bam, it's out there, and anybody can go and get it. So sure. The question is, there's no distribution there, right? So the distribution channel is the problem, and so you would have to have something just ridiculously awesome to garner that sort of interest. And
or you yourself would have to have the connections to get everybody to know that it's even available.
Yeah, I'm no Gary Vaynerchuk.
A lot of people aren't. A lot of people don't have $1 million sitting.
Either,
and I definitely don't have $1 million sitting around just that I could burn through. So, in terms of using, let's say, location-based services with something like a traditional book, how would you see that, playing out beyond just general conversations?
Yeah, that's a good question with location-based. I think, there's obviously the idea of who's reading the book where, where people are, and having that piece of context, but I don't really know how interesting that is.
It would be interesting, like, if you're reading the How to Stalk for Dummies, and, seeing, oh, they're over there right now.
Stalking for Dummies.
Wouldn't that be?
That'd be a great book. I'll suggest it to the Wiley folks. Maybe you and I can collaborate.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Just sign up for Foursquare and Twitter, and
it's
you're done.
It's got to be a video book,
actually,
right?
No, there's actually, I think it's a rather creepy commercial of a psychotic ex-girlfriend. This is an Android commercial, or at least Android type for a network with an Android phone, where she's saying, "Oh, I was just looking at his Foursquare, looking at his Twitter, his Facebook check-ins." People are giving so much information about themselves, and they're throwing it out there without realizing really the ramifications of it.
I get the privacy question all the time, and it's really the kind of thing where I'm kind of open with who I share with, and I'm a little bit too open. My wife's not really happy about that, but it's because I'm the location-based guy. I need to see what happens with this stuff, so she's not particularly thrilled about that. But I think you got to be super careful about who you're pushing your location to, and so I tend to be comfortable pushing it to brands because I especially brands that I trust they're going to take that information and do
really even after this, the whole Sony getting its information hacked.
There's a lot.
And I know it can
happen all the time.
Yeah, that can happen, and I take the same approach. It's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen.
Somebody that I don't want to have my data has my data, but I think the chances of, and saying this online right now is really scary, but I think the chances of somebody taking my identity, stealing it, and doing something ridiculous that's going to harm me forever, bankrupt me, that kind of thing is, I'm willing to take the risk. And I'm taking it for the public. So I'm writing the book about this. I'm trying to figure out how this stuff works out. But
it's interesting. The story that I think it hit close to home because I know the guy. Just keep hitting my mic there. I have a problem being Italian and doing this. Israel Hyman, a photographer, has done a lot of work online selling content. To bring it back to that, he had his house broken into and like thousands of dollars worth of equipment stolen because he tweeted or posted somewhere that he was somewhere else, and so someone knew that he wasn't home, and specifically because he said where he wasn't. Right. Then someone took advantage of that.
The chances of you not being home between 9 to 5 are pretty good, though, right?
Well, for me, not really.
For you.
Apparently we have cheerleading. All right, good.
So, hey, Chris, one thing that I wanted to tell you about was all this Foursquare stuff that's happening out there is pretty interesting. But have you tried any of the sort of future location-based, like the next generation of location stuff, like Ditto or Color yet?
Oh yeah, I heard about Color and its failure to launch. I mean, that was the greatest story that I never got into. Like, I just watched it. Everyone was talking about it. Everybody was talking about it. Hype. And
they've got $42 million over there at Color. And,
congratulations. But is anybody using it yet?
Well, no. That's the problem.
Well, no. Yeah, that's the problem is that no one's using it.
Aren't using it, but I've kind of just been saying, all right, that's happened with a lot of apps at first that have come out. People haven't used it, and then they've kind of like, oh, okay, here we go. Like Quora, for instance.
But like something like Instagram was more organic in growth, and then it got really, 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 well, I guess
it's kind of
really
hard to
popular.
see the value of Color, though, and I think the thing that you hear a lot of people do two different things. One is say, I want, everything needs to be private, and they need to protect my privacy. But on the other hand, they're like, I want things to just happen for me. And what Color's trying to do is say, all right, we're going to make things just happen for you. So basically, you don't have to build your social graph, you don't build your social network at all. You just start taking pictures with people, and it says, oh, these people must be together. It's looking at things like the location. It's analyzing the noise that's happening in the room, which we've got a lot of noise over here right now.
Apparently.
And it's also looking at things like the direction that your phone is pointing and things of that nature, so that it can say, oh, these people must be together, or they're looking at something interesting. So they did something with the royal wedding where they were following the procession because they could tell where it was based on where people's phones were pointing.
Interesting.
And so it's building your social network for you. It's really kind of interesting. I'm trying to get more people to use it because I think these guys are onto something.
Okay, and they may very well be. The thing I like about at least Instagram is not, the photo effect's fine, whatever, but it's the fact that I can publish it to Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, Posterous, like all of these different places without thinking about it. Does Color have those?
Color has, yes, they do have, they push to Twitter, they push to Facebook, and I don't, we're talking to, we've got them coming to a conference that we're putting on in June. I'm not really here to promote that, but they're coming to Boston. And we're gonna get a little bit more down and dirty with them because I've gotten to talk to them a little bit, but I've seen the interviews they've done with Scoble and such. But
who?
Right, yeah, that's Scobelinator or Scobler.
Don't you do that with Last.fm feeds? Don't you scobble your feeds?
Yeah, that's what you do. So DJ Patil, though, their chief product officer, he was the chief scientist at LinkedIn, and he came up with things like People You Know and a career, the Career Explorer, and so I think big things coming from these guys. Yeah. But the other one that I wanted to tell you about is Ditto. So have you tried Ditto yet?
No.
Have you tried Uber?
Are you just making up names
now?
So have you tried Flappy Dap? No, I've not.
Tried Zlonggliblia?
Yes, actually last night. It was great. It's the only app that worked in New York on the iPhone.
So you remember Jaiku, of course. I mean,
oh yes.
So the founder of Jaiku, Jiri Engström, huge in Finland, and maybe 4 other people used it, but that was bought by Google, and Jiri is kind of gone into sort of like hiding, and now he's come back with this app called Ditto. And what Ditto allows you to do is express things that you want to do, and so it's like semantic,
I want to go to the bathroom.
It's like semantic Twitter, though. So you start off with this like crayon box where you've got like at the top where you're like going through this. You go say I'm at home, or I want coffee, or I want to go to a movie, and then and so it semantically kind of captures this idea that you have, and then you can put like unstructured stuff with it, and it grabs an area that you're in. So let's say that I'm in Hell's Kitchen and I want coffee. Well, I can express that on Ditto, and businesses could say, oh, hey, Mike, come on in. We've got some free Wi-Fi for you, a seat next to the fireplace, and we'll have your latte
Actually,
ready.
I'd kind of like that.
So think of it as like if you've got some Slack time, you could pay to monitor this stream and bring people in that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to get, and that's sort of what they're pushing towards. You should check it out. It's pretty hot.
Interesting.
They're calling it Future Foursquare. I think it's more like semantic Twitter.
So now I've got to sign up for Ditto and Color.
Ditto and Color.
You got me. I'll sign up. I'll give it a shot. See, people know that I'm here because I'm putting it out there. Obviously, I'm keynoting, the conference and everything. Blah 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 blah. Hey, congratulations!
Oh, thank you, bro.
Right.
Thanks.
I'll be on the day after. I just keep hitting this.
This setup's amazing, by the way. I love it.
This
so
isn't
nice
mine. It just keeps jumping out.
Though.
I think it's moving towards me, like inching like closer.
Beautiful setup.
I have people who, when I leave the house, either I've got cameras on, the alarms on, and people there. Like, that house is never empty. And I'm very, very careful about that because, it's just safety. I mean, it's people know where I'm not.
Right.
There is a chance that something bad can happen. So I've even done videos. I'm like, hey, this is the setup I got. I got this camera, I got this camera, I got this service, it's connected this way, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I got this, I got
I
that.
know exactly where it's sitting. Right.
Not really. No one knows where it's sitting, and I keep growing because the nice thing is I get to review products. So they'll say, hey, you want to review this new security thing? I'm like, sure, why not? So I've got, that house is like, got nothing in it except for security cameras. That's it. There's nothing except for security cameras. It's crazy. But no, I'm very careful about that, if only because I'm trying to protect, myself and my loved ones. All my dogs and girlfriend, really. No one else loves me. It's just I love them.
They love you.
No.
I think they must.
That was the stalking part.
Dogs love anyone. They're sellouts.
You apparently have not met all dogs. Because not all dogs love everybody. My dogs love everybody, but not every dog loves everybody. Well, either way,
Chris, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah,
Appreciate
sure.
it.
Where could they find you? Not physically, geo-targeted here now, but like online.
SchneiderMike.com or at SchneiderMike on Twitter. SCHNEIDER Mike. That's it. That's me.
Mike is an M-I-K-E, not M-I-C, Mike.
No. Not rocking the mic.
All right. Well, I'll have to, I'll start following and looking at the location stuff because you sound like you're the guy in the know. And the website again for this the tech show is
TechInterruption.com.
All right. Fair enough. There's the geek for you.
Thanks a lot, Chris. I appreciate it.
Hey, no worries.
See you.
Yep.